So everyone, welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Today we're focusing on what the Toronto Maple Leafs, should do with the 21st pick in next week's NHL entry draft. I got him taking Kirby Rochelle out of the Windsor Spitfires. Obviously his father Warren Rochelle played in the NHL. I see him being a good fit in Toronto down the line. Great offensive player, back-to-back 40-goal seasons in the Western Hockey League. I can also see him taking Nick Petan, undersized, diminutive, but incredibly skilled center from the Portland Winterhawks. He's led the Western Hockey League in scoring last year with 120 points in 70 games. Really a dynamo offensively that, if I was Toronto, I'd be cognizant of the fact he's an amazing talent, though undersized. If Brian Burke were there, I guarantee you that Samuel Morin, and Frederick Oshie, both of their Rimouski Oceanics, would both be on definitely the draft board. Two huge players that fit the mold Burke was trying to build in Toronto. I'm not sure what Nonis is trying to do. Obviously made a big transaction today, acquiring Jonathan Bernier from the LA Kings. Exchange for Frat and Scrivens and a second-round pick either next year or in 2015. So that's there's some assets right there they gave up. But I think Rochelle's the best fit for them, plain and simple. I think he's got some upside offensively, and that they've failed to, really develop a high-end forward in the organization. It's been a long time since one of those have come along. And, you look at what Rochelle can do, playing in the OHL, obviously right there in Ontario. And, I mean, if they want to go defense, maybe Josh Morrissey. Morrissey probably off the board. Pulak will probably off the board. Maybe Marco Mueller out of the Everett Silvertips in the Western League. Robert Hagg out of Modo in Sweden, something like that. But I really think they should go with a forward there, and I think Rochelle's the right fit, round peg and round hole for the organization. People talking about them trading up. I don't see that happening. I think they're going to stand pat, and I think that's probably in their best interest. They've had high picks for a while. The other thing with the defensemen is they got Morgan Riley coming up. I really believe Morgan Riley is the real deal. I'm as sold on Morgan Riley as I am any defenseman outside the NHL. So that's why, maybe you draft Moran, their defense partners long term. You got a bigger defensive defenseman and smooth puck mover in Riley. That could be one thing you look at, but realistically, I think he'll be. I think Nonis will be looking at a forward with upside. I think there's plenty of it in this draft, so we'll see how it all works out. Like I said, someone asked me before the Bernier trade about Fakale or Comrie. I don't see either one of them. Toronto reaching to draft either one of them in the first round. I think Fakale will be off the board by then, and I wouldn't take Comrie. I just don't think they need it. They just gave up a bunch of assets. But even before, I would not have given up a first rounder for a goalie in this draft. I think you can get good value later on, and it's such a Russian roulette of a position that giving up a first round pick for a guy, see Shea Picard in Nashville, that's the reason I'll never draft a goalie in the first round if I'm a GM. Anyway, that's all on this episode of the Power Play with CJ on what the Leafs should do with the 21st pick in the 2013 NHL entry draft. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the finals and beyond. Later, guys.